Whoa, that's one hell of a crystal.
Would you like me to consume its energy?
Not this time, buddy. We need a specialist. Special, you say? Oh, hello there.
Ladies, gentlemen, and
Trainers of all ages, the patch has hit Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and with it has of course come the 7-star Charizard Tera Raid, the first 7-star raid in the game, and thus, in theory, the hardest one we've got, right? If you've tried this, you've definitely seen how brutal it can be, or at least, you've seen how brutal it can be if you're not perfectly prepared. The thing about having a single 7-star raid is that you can build yourself entirely for the sake of countering it. If you know what Pokemon you're going to fight, and you know what Tera type it is, it's just a matter of simple countering, essentially just an equation with a missing value that you have to plug in. Over the last week or so, people have been preparing a bunch of theoretical counters to this event, and the two main ones that I've seen people talking about are Azumarill, being a water Pokemon making it resistant to fire, which also knows Belly Drum to raise attack all 6 stages in one turn, and Play Rough is a really strong fairy move in order to double affect the Dragon Tera type. But as you may have noticed if you have one yourself, this strat, it has a couple of issues apparently. Another one is the Dash Bun strategy, but as much as this makes sense on paper, immunity to fire and also a pure fairy type, and it is very capable of soloing this raid when built properly, it is a bit of a coin toss whether or not it will work though. But what I am about to show you today is pretty much a 100% win rate strategy for the 7-star Charizard, and it is entirely based around two concepts. Firstly, the Charizard knows exactly 0 physical attack moves. Everything it does is special attack all the time. Secondly, it will always start the fight with an overheat, which lowers its own stats. And then it cleanses its negative stat changes from itself, but it can only do this one time, meaning once this has happened, you can lower its stats all you want and it will never fix them. And so with this, who is the culprit? Who are we going to use to destroy this raid? The answer is simply Flutter the Paradox Pokemon. First things first, you want your Flutter as high level as you can physically make it. Max level obviously is ideal. You want to max out its IVs through hyper training with bottle caps, and then give it ideally a modest nature through mints, though mild will also do. You're mostly just looking to raise its special attack here. Through EV training, you want to max out special attack and special defense as much as you can, and then we need to equip a specific item called the Covert Cloak, which you can buy at Delibird Presence in Levincia. This item makes the holder immune to additional effects from moves, and what this does for us in this case specifically is make us immune to burn and also to the confuse that can come from Hurricane. While these only have a chance of happening, this item removes that chance completely and makes this strat all the more consistent. Once you have that taken care of, it's time to build our ideal moveset on this Pokemon for the raid. First up, you need Moonblast. You get this naturally on Fluttermane at level 84. It is a super high damage special attacking fairy move that can also lower its target special attack. All of those things make it just absolutely perfect to use here. Then you also want Fake Tears. This is a debuff move that lowers the target special defense 2 stages. Charizard can clear your buffs later into the fight, but as I mentioned earlier, it only clears its own buffs on the very first turn of battle. Fluttermane doesn't learn this naturally, but you can get it as a TM, of course, to teach it, and while you can craft it at the TM machine, you can also find it in the overworld for free. One spot that you can get to quite easily is in the South Province Area 2, just southeast of the town of Cortondo. The next move that you want is Calm Mind. This boosts your special attack and special defense by 1 stage when you use it, and while the Charizard does clear your buffs eventually, this is mostly just a safeguard to let you set up the fight properly before it happens. As with special defense buffs on top of Fluttermane's innately high, super high special defense, this Charizard can just barely touch you at all. This one again is a TM, and again you can use it to craft it if you want, but you can also find it for free out in the world. This one just north of the South Province Area 5 Watchtower, over here just by the small pond. Then finally we want a way to restore our health while also attacking, and the answer to this is a move called Draining Kiss, a fairy type special attack that restores your HP by a bit more than half of the damage dealt. Fluttermane doesn't learn this naturally, but again, TMs are your friend. Either craft it or find it in the world for free again, and this one is really easy to find, located directly behind the gym in Cortondo itself. With that, you now have all the TMs that you need, so go on and teach them to your Fluttermane, and you are now fully prepared for this raid. When the raid starts, the Charizard will use its overheat. It has a 1 in 4 chance of hitting you, so good luck. After that, it clears its debuffs, and on your first 3 turns, use Calm Mind to significantly lower the damage it does to you. After that, use Fake Tears 3 times to lower the Charizard special defense itself to its absolute minimum. If you are close to death, death at any point in this process, just use Draining Kiss and you'll heal yourself up. If you aren't in danger of dying and all the buffs have been applied, then use Moonblast. Eventually it will clear your buffs, but it's alright at that point, just keep blasting, it doesn't matter. When it starts to get low, it will put up a Sunny Day effect. This Charizard has the Solar Power ability, so it makes its fire attack stronger, but we are using a Paradox Pokemon with Photosynthesis.
Now you fucked up!
So of course this also boosts our highest stat by 30%, which in this case is our special attack. With this, you can just blast it. Just remember, the rhythm of using Draining Kiss if you need healing, or Moonblast if you don't need healing, and job's a good one. Easy, replicable solo kills of this Charizard. If you are playing Pokemon Violet and don't have the ability to trade anyone for a Flutter main for any reason, your general best bet is the Dash Bun strat. This one is just much simpler, there's a lot less going on. This Pokemon has an ability that makes it straight up immune to fire attacks, so you already run half of the battle right there. And the only thing that Charizard will do to hurt you most of the time then is Hurricane. With full hyper training completed and EVs for attack and HP specifically, this will take 2 or 3 hits to kill you on average. Equip your Bread Roll with the Choice Band item, which you can get at Delibird Presence in Mesagosa. This raises your attack by 50%, but locks you to using 1 attack, and that's fine for this. Make sure your Pokemon knows Play Rough, which it will learn by default at level 18, and then use PP ups on Play Rough to bring it up to a 16 use move. With that, just go into the raid and literally just press Play Rough every single turn. You'll either win or you'll lose, it depends on mischances and crits and luck in general on both sides. Terra when you have just respawned, or if you are certain you will live for at least a couple of more turns, and otherwise just spam that Play Rough. It does a lot of damage with the Choice Band, and generally unless you get lucky, you'll die every 3 turns or so. You're just trying to outpace the timer losses of dying by doing massive damage every single turn. The strategy is definitely less consistent than Flutter Mane, but it still definitely works. Now we should talk just a little bit about the Azumarill issue. This Pokemon has an ability called Huge Power, which will double its attack stat. That obviously is very good, as it makes it deal a lot of physical damage, literally double what it would otherwise. But for whatever reason, this ability seems to be bugged in Tera Raids just in general within the game. Josh on this channel has been using the Azumarill for Tera Raids for about a week now, and he keeps telling me that Pokemon just keep healing when they should be dead, and I thought that was weird, obviously. I mean, it has never happened to me, ever. Well, it turns out it is specifically an Azumarill thing, specifically related to Huge Power. It will show in the raid the full damage of the attack, but in reality the game just doesn't count Huge Power's damage bonus, and so what happens is the health reverts to its actual point once the coding catches up with the visuals. It's just a really weird bug, but it's a bug that ruins one of the otherwise strongest Pokemon for this raid challenge. It can still get the job done, absolutely, don't get me wrong, it's just definitely less reliable than Flutter Mane has shown to be. If you're wondering if you can do the Charizard raid multiple times even though it's a limited time event, the answer is yes. You can respawn the raid then the exact same way that you respawn any raids in general. Just go to your settings, go to time, flick the day ahead one, then go back to your game, and a new 7-star raid will spawn on your map. With that said, what are the rewards for doing this? What are the reasons that you would do this other than just the pure thrill of the hunt? Well, first off, obviously, you get a Charizard. This Charizard comes with perfect IVs all around, as well as an ideal nature, and it's already level 100. It's about as perfect as you could ask for catching a new Pokemon. However, you can only catch it once, and once you have caught one, you just won't have the option to catch again, even if you defeat it in further raids. Instead, you'll just get regular raid rewards. On which note, the first time that you complete this raid, you are guaranteed to receive an ability patch, which is an extremely valuable item. It can unlock hidden abilities on other Pokemon, and it will also drop TM 157, which is Overheat. All of the other rewards are from a randomized drop pool, but you are guaranteed to get an insane amount of XP candies. There are chances at large amounts of calcium dropping, a couple of different nature mints as well. Bottle caps have a 4% drop rate from doing this, which is the highest that they have anywhere in the game. Dragon Terra Shards, of course. Ability capsules have a 2% drop rate, and then there are loads of rare treasure items worth tons of Pokédollars that drop as well. For your second completion and onwards, the ability patches are still in the drop pool, but they are only a 1% chance of dropping as opposed to the guaranteed one from the first completion. So really, no matter what, you want to complete this raid at least the once for that guaranteed ability patch, the Charizard, the TM. It's just a lot of value to get guaranteed. All in all, I think this is a pretty cool event to have happen within the game, especially so soon after the release of it in general. The patch it came with theoretically fixed a fair bit of the performance issues, definitely not all of them, but at least they are trying, right? I'm not saying they're off the hook yet by any means, but it's good to see that they haven't just abandoned the game as a bug fest. The Charizard raid is cool, it's pretty hard even if you were somewhat prepared for it. It's extra hard in multiplayer, But of course, as with most things, once you work out the perfect strategy against it, it will never pose a threat to you again. That's the only real issue with this in general, is that it has no variance. The event is a 7-star raid, it is one 7-star raid, it is always Charizard, always with the exact same moveset, and he always starts the fight off in the exact same way, which makes it cheesable. It is specifically a result of these things that it makes it easy if you know what you're doing, if you have the Flutter main built the right way. I hope you're all enjoying the raid though. If you're struggling, I hope this video gave you a way to stop that. Remember that this is a limited time event, only here for the next few days and coming back for a little bit in a couple of weeks as well. So get your attempts in now if you want to. Time is running out quickly. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world our stage. Goodbye.